In the world of toys, there's a lot of things that you want to have multiples of. One of the best examples is houses in Monopoly, right? The more houses you get, the more money you can extract from your opponents. And there's a lot of things around the house you want doubles of, like pianos, so you can do things like this. Well, with action figures, there tends to be I guess you could say, stigma around the idea of buying more than one of the same character. It's not like they come in pairs like shoes or glasses or left-hand gloves. Rather, they're individual figures that we actively often choose to buy more than one of deliberately. One of the, well, I guess one of my favorite examples of this coming up in pop culture is, I guess this would have been a couple years ago. Do you guys remember? Well, do you remember when Episode 7 came out and Saturday Night Live did this great spoof of Star Wars collectors, like this clip?
And villains.
I have Ray and Finn.
I have 3 of each. 1 to display, 1 to open, and 1 just in case.
Why?
Non-stop.
So that kind of puts a nail right into the heart of the issue with popular culture. So why do collectors do this? Well, there's some obvious reasons. There's increasing in value to one day sell the item, and that makes sense. Some toys do appreciate in value. Then the other is army building, where collectors want to have a huge amount of the same character because it represents a faceless army, if you will, because that's what most pop culture things have. And hey, toy makers have been pretty good at helping collectors who collect this way collect. Wow, that was a lot of the same word. Whether it's 3-packs at retail or 4-packs online, which actually sell a lot better. It's great that toy companies embrace this particular hobby as part of collecting. Now, the other thing is just about preserving the toy and having multiples in case one maybe, I don't know, wears out over time and it is no longer in mint condition. I mean, the last thing you want is a toy you've been holding on to for so long and then suddenly, it bites you in the butt because it's fallen apart or it has broken or it has been destroyed by a wild mongoose that got let loose in your house. Well, no matter how you collect, whatever it is you collect, whether you collect in package or you collect loose, collecting is a very personal thing that's an expression of our own love for pop culture and the characters that the toys are representing. All right, so why go over all of this? Well, I have a unique way of collecting that is not the same as most people who buy 2. I don't buy 2 because I want to keep 1 in package, preserved forever in carbonite, so I put in my wall. I mean, lots of collectors do this with both packaged and loose figures. I don't have any graded figures. I like to actually have contact with my figures, but respect those who do it that. And I do have some toys I have in package. I'm not a complete loose collector. Mostly they're toys that I've had a special connection with or have worked on. Like I do have a handful of Masters of the Universe Classic figures in my back office. Mostly some of my favorite characters or ones that I had a hand in actually helping to create or work on. I have a handful of Star Wars figures still in package. Actually, like really only 3 or 4. And again, usually these are special figures. Example, that Tatooine Biggs was a figure I waited years and years and never thought we'd actually get. So, of course, I had to get a packaged one. Way back there is my Legion of Superheroes pack. That was that multi-pack from Matty Collector. I just don't have the proper place to put it, so it's behind a bunch of stuff right now. And then, again, it's things like this Batman that was the result of a bet between Bill Beneke and I about getting a pink Batman to market and whether we could do it legitimately through Mattel and Warner Brothers, or getting to do a Spanish version of the Riddler, or packing Batman in with a pig, Wonder Pig, as a new accessory. These were just sort of like, kind of dream toys that I got to work on. And of course, Mola Ram, because it's an action figure that's, holding a flaming human heart. I mean, come on, that doesn't happen every day. And really the only line that I collect purposefully packaged is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, because these are just beautiful packages and they just bring me back to my childhood, and I like having something to actively look for. I still am missing a few of them, so it's fun to have something to collect. Oh, and of course the Wonder Twins package. I keep that around because it's fun to demo and it's got all those lights and sounds and stuff, but it lives boxed. Okay, so going through the few items that I have packaged, and that's basically it out of the thousands and thousands of toys that I have. So why do I buy more than one then if I don't keep one in package to preserve it for either sentimental value, monetary value, or some third thing? Well, the way I personally collect is I have my archive sets, which are essentially museum quality, perfect, 100% collect them all. And this is only with a few lines. I'm very picky. My most prominent one is Star Wars 3 3/4, and by that I mean 1995 forward and only classic trilogy. I do have some figures from other parts of Star Wars, but basically Power of the Force 2, Chewbacca on the orange card through whatever they released this month or last month. If it's from the original trilogy, I have that figure loose. And I organize all of them in bins, like little tool chest bins you get at Home Depot. And each one is in there with their accessory labeled. I could get to any figure from the last 25, 30 years within about 2 minutes. So maybe even less. I kind of like that. So that's how I keep my archive set, with the idea that one day I'll be able to display all of it. I have a few other lines that I have archive collections of, if you will. I mean, I can't collect everything in total, but Masters of the Universe Classics, I think it would be odd if I didn't have a full set of that, as well as DC Universe Classics. And some of these, I have duplicates of figures who have, like, it had 2 heads or 2 looks. Justice League Unlimited is a really unique one because I collected that on my own before I came to Mattel. I collected it at Mattel when I worked on Hot Wheels. Like, I would buy the figure still in store if I couldn't, bribe a sample from someone in the action figure group. And then I went on to actually brand manage it when I got moved from Hot Wheels to the action figure group. So it's a line that means a lot to me, and this is another one that I keep a full, complete, 100% set of. But the idea of having them all on display. And actually that sort of brings me to the point of all of that, is talking about these complete sets. So there's not room to have a complete set of every single toy line. I mean, I know some people do, and some people have that room. And my ultimate goal, what it really is all about, is I don't have the room right now to display all of my archive sets. But one day I will, and one day I will have a giant, toy room where everything is on display like this, and beautiful cabinets, well lit, can be admired, from 10 feet back, as all toy collections should be. And I like that because it'll preserve the full collection. Now, right now, the only full line I pretty much have on display is my Marvel Legends line, which I don't collect every Marvel Legends. I am very selective, unlike the previous ones, which I'm all in. So I get Fantastic Four teams, I get X-Men from the early 1990s, and I do Spider-Man villains. And I would get cosmic characters, but there's just so few of them. I mean, where's our Adam Warlocks? Where's our Pip the Troll? Well, we don't even have like a good 90s Gamora and Drax, and they're in Guardians of the Galaxy. Come on, Hasbro, more cosmics. All right, so how do I keep all of this? So the archive sets I have for things like Motu Classics, DCU Classics, are all in bins, essentially like this, with each figure in an individual Ziploc bag, so the accessories don't get lost, and packed not too tightly so nothing is getting crushed. So as an example, here is my Motu Classics Good Guys bin, and I have likewise a Bad Guys bin. Every single figure in a bag. If there's 2 heads, then there's 2 figures complete. That's how I collect it. So any character that had multiple looks got multiple figures. So if I need to get one in particular figure, like Ram Man, I can get to him pretty quickly just by pulling out that one bin and digging through for a minute or two, and I'm bound to find the good guy or bad guy I need. All right, now here's where we get to the very unique part. I also keep an everyday box. So this is my everyday box of Masters of the Universe Classic. So in addition to my archive set for display, this is I get to play with these figures. I get to pose them. I get to, move them where I need them. I can put them on a shelf. I can put them on. I would not eat it with a goat. I would not collect it with a boat. So I have that for Motu, DC, Justice League, and actually Pinmates as well. It's not something I archive. I just keep a bin of pin mates because they're fun. And then I have a everyday 6-inch bin that's just random stuff, other Marvel Legends, random other DC or Motu or movie figures that are don't go with the specific lines. I see some Futurama figures and Simpson in there. So this is just my everyday kind of like play box. So if I want to get to a figure and have them on my desk, or have it be my pocket figure for the day, or bring it with me somewhere, these are the ones that I can do that with. And same thing with Star Wars. I have my archive set in the back in those bins. All of the figures in this box are duplicates. All of these boxes. So these are all duplicates I bought. This is what I want to get into, is why I buy duplicates. So it's to have a play version of the figure. This last box here is just a transition box I use if I have a figure from my Star Wars archive set out of the bins. I put it in this box, I don't lose it. So that way it has to, these are the figures I'm preserving for long-term display. This box here of Star Wars figures, going back to it, this is my everyday set, and if they get scuffed, they get scuffed. But it's great because I can play with them and enjoy them. And if a figure came out that I knew I wanted an everyday figure of for any of the brands that I collect an archive set, I just bought a double. One goes in the archive and one goes in my everyday bin. That's my system. Do you have a unique system or a unique reason why you buy more than one figure? Love to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. Share this video. It's the best way you can support this channel. Likes, subscriptions, comments are also always welcome, and I try to comment back as much as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.